Welcome back to 3 News at 5. If you've been watching us for any time, you know that it's that time of year again. It's Clear the Shelters time here at WKYC. Today we're featuring some non-traditional pets, but the common theme is still these animals need homes, and perhaps you're the home for them.
They do, yes. We're talking about the Herps Alive Foundation now. This is a nonprofit reptile rescue and education organization in South Euclid. Now, the name comes from herpetology, of course, which is the study of amphibians and reptiles. So that's where we find our Stephanie Haney. She has some very special friends with her. She showed us a snake last half hour, or last hour, I should say. What have you got for us now?
Well, Christy, we've got reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates, oh my, here at Herps Alive in South Euclid. We've got the executive director, Keith Gisser, with us to introduce us to another special friend.
So this is Freddie. Freddie is a Russian tortoise. They're also called Horsfield's tortoises. This is a small tortoise. They only get about 6 to 8 inches full grown, so they stay a very manageable size. You think of the big tortoises you see at the zoo or the aquarium, those guys you can ride on their backs. These guys are just a tad more manageable.
And this little buddy is Freddie. So for the people who don't know, can you tell me the difference between a tortoise and a turtle?
So a tortoise is simply a turtle who is specially adapted for life on land. Club-like feet instead of webbed feet, not swimming, doesn't need the webs. He's got more of a higher dome shell instead of a low streamlined shell, help him balance on while walking. And the coloration is typically going to be brownish or blackish to blend in with the dead leaves and the dirt, whereas most of your aquatic turtles are greenish to blend in with the pond water.
And for a Russian tortoise, is there a way you can show affection? Will he feel it if we pet him?
They definitely feel it if you pet them. They do have nerve endings in the shell, and the shell is part of their body. They can't run out of their shell like you see in the cartoons. But they can feel that, absolutely, and it can hurt you. They can be injured, too, if you don't knock on them or hard or anything like that, because you can hurt them.
And how old do we think Freddie is? Any idea?
Unfortunately, most of these guys are wild caught, but we think Freddie's between 5 and 10 years old. He could be as old as 15, but they live 40 to 60 years. So even if I'm off by 5 years, even if he's 20, he's still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, and that is something to think about when you're adopting an animal, certainly. Is that something that you see typically with the tortoises?
It is, and that's why we get so many tortoises in. We try to discuss that with adopters all the time, and it's important. We tell people, your 10-year-old son wants a turtle or a tortoise. Understand that his kids or maybe even his grandkids are going to end up taking care of that animal. It's very important to consider.
And you've got several Russian tortoises here, I understand?
That's correct. And actually what we're going to do for Clear the Shelters, just for Channel 3 viewers, we're going to reduce the adoption fee by $10 on all of our Russian tortoises if they mention this segment. Say that you saw us on Channel 3, and we're going to reduce the adoption fee by $10 for you.
And can you just give me kind of a general estimate? You may not know this. There are a lot of animals in here. How many adoptable animals do you have?
Right now, if you include aquatic turtles, we have about 180 adoptable animals. If you take the aquatic turtles out, it's about 75.
Okay, so a lot of variety. We've got your Russian tortoises. We had the ball python earlier. What's one thing, if you had to say one thing to people you would like them to know about the animals that are adoptable here?
I think the most important thing is to understand how long they live. People think dog, cat, maybe 15 years. These tortoises can live 40, 60. The bigger tortoises, 80 to 100. Even some of your snakes, as we mentioned, can live 30, 40 years. And it is a commitment. You have to think about that. That's one of the reasons we're here, because so many people buy these animals and don't think about that in advance when they go to the pet store. So I think it's important to consider that.
Very good to know. Thank you very much, Keith. Thank you, Freddie. So you heard that. Jay and Christy, anybody who comes into Herps Alive in South Euclid, if you mention this segment, you'll get a discount if you want to take Freddie or one of his friends home.
You can't beat that. Stephanie, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Well, some of those are going to outlive us. So, yeah, that's a good thing to think about. I hadn't thought about it. Our Clear the Shelters campaign runs through September 10th. You can find a full list of participants online at WKYC.com, and thank you for checking it out.